Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about one of the consulting area that I'm more familiar with, strategy management. So let's get started. So today's agenda are twofold. First, we'll talk about the purpose of strategy management consulting. Then we'll dive into two particular approaches. One is the more traditional approach called opportunity identification. Usually, this would be done using some kind of SWOT analysis. The other approach involves opportunity creations. Basically, identify a new way to move forward. This usually would be done through some kind of innovation, whether it's business model innovation, product innovation, or process innovation. And today, we're only going to talk about blue ocean strategy as an example, right? So let's get started. In terms of strategy management consulting, basically there are two main purposes for this type of consulting project. First one is to help the top management teams to formulate and implement strategies, right? Oftentimes, this can be a complex decisions that top management team will be responsible for. And yet, how to do this in an efficient way, that's when top management team may have problems. And in addition, the primary purpose for strategy management consulting is to help organizations and its top management team to ultimately improve firm performance. And by firm performance, it can be broadly defined, not only focusing on the financial performance, but also corporate social responsibilities as well. Because nowadays we know that stakeholders that firms are responsible for can be quite diverse. Not only they are responsible for the shareholders, they are also responsible for various stakeholders that the organization are responsible for, such as government, employees, even the environment, right? So these are the two main purpose of strategy management consulting. Now let's first talk about opportunity identification. Usually, this is would be considered the traditional uh, way how consultant would be able to help um, managers or executives, right? Is using the traditional SWOT analysis that will enable firm to better organize the information they have collected. So SWOT analysis often consists of gathering information both internally and externally. In terms of internal information gathering and analysis, those are related to the strength and weakness. And this type of internal analysis usually involve trying to understand what type of resources the firm may possess and whether those resources are valuable, immutable, and have whether there are some kind of organizational process that firm will be able to utilize these resources effectively. If not, if so, then these resources will be considered strength. If the organization lacks such resource, then it will be considered a weakness. On the other hand, there are external analysis the firm could have done. The consultant could help them to gather this type of information. These would be tool set that you will use to conduct external environment analysis. Usually, this involves some kind of trend analysis, trying to understand what would be some emerging trend from the environment that could fundamentally influence firms operating in this particular industry. or it can be examination of various force that uh, could significantly influence firm performance as well. And Michael Porter is famous known for his five force model, right? Understanding the suppliers, buyers, uh, competitors, customer, and etc. Right? So by understanding these various actors could influence firms' profitabilities, they actually highlight the potential opportunities that firm may be able to pursue or emerging threats that could threaten the survival of the performance of these firms. Right? Overall, the SWOT analysis is simply a framework that allow firms to organize information collected internally and externally in order to help them to better formulate strategy. And this is a typical SWOT matrix that consultant may use to help organization to identify the strategy alternative they can move forward to. So this is a very simple 2 by 2 tables. On the top, we have opportunity and threats. That's based on external analysis, right? So this is an example from McDonald's. In terms of opportunities that McDonald's face, there would be growth in emerging economies and increasing health conscientiousness in US and other market. In terms of emerging threat that could threaten McDonald's business model would be global economic downturns and growing popularities of easy prepared items in grocery store. And after some quick internal analysis, we can see the strength of McDonald's business model, its financial stabilities, and the ample resource from its not only its firms but also its franchisees, right? You also enjoy a very strong brand recognition as well. If you go to any other countries, you can easily you will be sure that people from different countries will immediately be aware of the McDonald's brand name as well. And most importantly, because they use franchising model and through years of perfect their operations, there's really a high consistencies in terms of their product and in terms of how they operate, right? So those are considered important strength. And weakness would be they actually have a reputation for not so health conscious food, right? Not so healthy food. Most of their product are priced and really not ideal if you want to have a healthy lifestyle. So those are some of the weaknesses. So if we simply use this 2 by 2 framework, this will allow us to see what type of strategy alternative that could emerge. Here, list 3 potential alternatives. Right, the first one is to use strength 1 and strength 2 to capture opportunity 1. So this if with this the combination, basically the consultant would recommend McDonald's to launch new locations in BRIC nations, right? Another strategy alternative would be expanded healthier food alternatives. This is based on their existing weakness and the emerging opportunity number 2. So what this really means that they will need to expand the resource that will help them to counter their existing lack of resource or lack of image reputation in this healthier food choices. Or managers could also have the third alternative, which is simply launch food in grocery outlets that rely on their strength 2 and strength 3 to tackle emerging threat number 2, right? So this example simply illustrate how SWOT matrix would be a useful tool for you to better understand how to organize information collected both internally and externally, and then that will help you to better formulate strategic alternatives, right? So this is considered a very traditional way to identify opportunities that firms can pursue. A more recently emerged approach is called opportunity creations, right? So opportunity identification is somewhat more passive. It involves of careful information analysis, both internally and externally, in order to identify opportunities that of that organization can capture. Opportunity creations is very different. It involves more creativities and innovation. One of the good example would be blue ocean strategy. And so this framework has been around for over several years, over uh, almost 2 decades, right? Basically, it's a growth strategies that heavily rely on innovations, discovering a new industry or create new demands, right? There are many examples of firms that actually have utilized these strategies. And Blue Ocean strategy was a scholar who came out with this term, simply come up with this framework to organize and explain how most entrepreneurial firms have come to emerge, right? A good example would be Starbucks, right? Uh, they Howard Schultz was able to recognize that they the way that Europeans consume coffee is very different compared to Americans at the when they when before they start to really create the Starbucks brand. Then he simply adopt that European way of coffee consumption into the U.S. market, introduce that into the U.S. market, and really create a new demand for U.S. consumers. Right, so that's a good example of blue ocean strategy. And basically, what the key the main gist of this strategy is to understand that success is not only highly dependent on the competitive response, but it could also depends on your creativities and how you could create values to your customers, right? So that's blue ocean strategy in a nutshell. So in order to do so, you need to know the difference between red ocean strategy versus blue ocean strategy. Think of red ocean strategy uh, as the industry that is at the maturity stage, right? Where there are many existing competitors out there. So in order to survive in this particular market space, all these competitors need to either focus on differentiating their products or focus on the adoption of low cost strategies. And in this type of market, in red oceans market, the market demand is fairly intuitive. People know exactly what they want, what type of product, what type of service they want. And in order to survive, firms simply need to make a value versus cost trade-off. Again, whether the firm would adopt differentiation strategy or low cost strategy. On the other hand, blue ocean strategy is all about identify a market space where no one else have discovered yet, right? So basically, you want to create uncontested market space that only you or a few other competitors actually compete in this space. So, and the strategy in this space is to come up with a unique value added service or products so the competitor will become irrelevant. You basically will create and capture new demands. And you really want to break off the value cost trade off, right? Now you no longer focus on either using differentiation strategies or to use uh, low cost strategy, but instead you focus on creating new values, so your potential customer will get to appreciate the unique value proposition you have created, and your competitors simply have no idea how you can come up with such strategies, right? So that's blue ocean strategy. And if you have read related books, you will notice that there are a number of tool sets that have been covered in those books. And we're only going to highlight a few of them. So essentially, the central idea of Blue Ocean strategy is all about value innovations, right? So what that really means is that you want to focus both on value and innovations. If you focus on creating value for the end user, but without the emphasis on innovative product or innovative process, what you are really doing is that you are focusing on incremental innovations, right? Whenever you focus on doing incremental innovations, that simply means that you will still be operating in red ocean, right? So, because potential customer will see, yes, you are bringing additional new values, maybe incremental improvement of existing product features, yet it's not really highly differentiated from others, right? So that's the problem with the focus on value without innovation. Alternatively, you can focus greatly on innovation without paying much attention on value, right? Oftentimes, when we talk to engineers or when we observe product introduced by engineer-driven firms, we often will notice that the product they introduce tend to be very innovative in the sense that if really focus on the technology, becoming the market leader in innovation, right? Their product tend to be very futuristic, yet consumer may not be ready for such radical innovation, right? So that's why the core idea for blue ocean strategies is you want to focus on both creating values and creating innovations. And in terms of how to break the value cost trade-off, blue ocean strategy will suggest to do the following four action steps. First, you want to eliminate uh, factors that have been considered as the traditional yardsticks to measure product performance. Because sometimes those may not be that relevant for the uh, new product you intend to create. On the other hand, you also want to focus on factors that relates to a product that you will need to greatly enhance, because usually those factors will be underestimated or overlooked by existing competitors. Yet these factors will, if you are able to significantly improve those unique factor or unique product features, They will allow you to stand out against all existing competitors. That's how you can create values and be innovative. And finally, what factors should be reduced well below the industry standard? So those will be factors that perhaps consumer longer care about such factors, right? So that's four different ways you can break off the value and cost trade-off. And a very useful tool that allow you to do this such blue ocean strategy methods is their strategy canvas. Basically, it's about using a value curve or strategy profile that graphically represent how firms' performance across a number of factors compared to their competitors, right? So when we say factors, it's really more, it's very similar to product features, right? So let's take a quick look on how such a strategy canvas will help firms I come up with a blue ocean strategy. And this type of strategy canvas often serve two purposes. One is to capture the current state of the existing market space, so you can understand what factors are highly valued by existing competitors and consumers, and it also allow you to understand their strategy profile of major competitors. Once you get a better understanding of existing strategy profiles, then that's when you can think about what factors you should focus on further develop and create so that end users will really appreciate the value you have created. And that will allow you to break away from existing red ocean reality, right? So this is a strategy canvas that people often use. And I'm just using this to illustrate how uh, you can use this strategy canvas as a way to map out the potential blue ocean strategy for firm to adopt. All right. So if you have taken my strategy management course, you should be very familiar with this strategy canvas. So let's take a quick look, right? So the high-end competitions basically would be those companies or those competitors that adopt differentiation strategy, right? So by adopting differentiation strategy, that means that the product feature usually would be high level of quality, right? Doesn't matter what factor you are looking at. While low-end competitions, on the other hand, really focus on the low-cost strategy, right? They just try to reduce their production cost, so they will only focus on, oh, sorry, so they will only focus on offering the minimal level of qualities across different factors. So for your first, in order to come up with the blue ocean strategies, what you have to do is you need to figure out unique factors that existing customers have overlooked, and you really want to innovate along these unique factors. That's where you create or raise these factors, allow you to differentiate. On the other hand, for other traditional factors, what you really want to do is to eliminate, right? Or reduce such factors. So that way you will be able to lower the cost of uh, manufacturing or providing such service. So blue ocean strategy really means that this strategy profile of your companies will have to look very different from existing competitors. So that way, the end users, the customer, will be able to view yourself, view the product you offer as a unique uh one, right? Right? So this is like quickly sum up what the two approaches that strategy management consultant will be able to help their clients, right? So if your business project involves strategy management consulting, so this would be some of the technical tools that you could use to address your clients' problems, right? So be sure to review strategy management course, and because fundamentally that course will provide you important tool set for you to collect information. It also provide you a framework for you to formulate strategy for your clients. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks.